Girl, so November 2nd is when my show comes back on, and I don't know about you, but I'm ready to finish this girls trip, see how that turns out. I'm also ready to see what Martell really said at that park to Letitia and Marceau. And listen, I know there's a lot of outrage surrounding this show and what many of you might consider to be its messy downfall. However, the way I see it is, it's just reality TV. Sometimes we just have to sit back and let things play out. Let's talk love and marriage Huntsville. I am Brandiva and this is Pop Wisdom. Now the questions that I have about this show are, number one, why was Martell Holt allowed to continue filming? I mean, I have my own ideas about it, but I want to know from production, why would we allow this guy to continue filming knowing that he's created chaos on set before? I mean, out here in the everyday real world, that's considered an HR issue. I would also like to know why Martell was allowed to taunt and harass his ex-wife on your cameras. Like, what's the logic behind that? Because to me, as a viewer of reality TV, all I pretty much watch is reality TV. To me, there should be some boundaries set because that's not a good thing. All drama isn't always good for TV. One of my long-standing questions since season 1, episode 1 has been, why in the world are the Scotts still on this show? And they don't even give us their real storylines. We've watched them literally piggyback everyone's story on this show. We only get their real story out here in social media. Their real story is not on the screen. And I did catch Carlos's interview over on Sheridan S. Davis's channel. And girl, I'm a new subscriber. Hey. And y'all, I will leave the link to the interview that she did with Carlos King in my pinned comments below. And since I'm addressing the Scotts and the way they seem to avoid their own reality on this show, let's look at something Carlos said in that interview. Because I think this is a perfect example of making an excuse when an audience has concerns about why are these people here on a reality TV show. They're not giving us their reality. So Carlos said in his interview with Sheridan S. Davis, it's so disgusting what people say about some of the stars who are just being themselves on camera. This is them being themselves. So since Carlos is the producer of Love and Marriage Huntsville, let's go by his logic since he's the one that casted the Scotts. So what you're telling us is the Scotts are phony and fake, that they're going to hide their reality while on a reality TV show, piggyback everyone else's story just so they could collect a check. That isn't reality TV, King. That's scripted TV. And then when we as the audience, the viewers of the show, the ones that are helping them to get the check, when we go online and we get together and we discuss the show and we discuss their fake storylines and how they're not giving us reality, then we're bullying. Because let's go to another point that Carlos made in his interview. Because Carlos was handing out a whole lot of shade, and we're going to break it all down because one thing that I do not like is, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's do this point first. So Carlos said that he thinks what's ruining reality TV now is the reality star who plays up for a social media audience. Now, me personally, I think that is a producer's way of saying, I can't run this BS over on y'all that I want to because these stars are out here giving y'all the real deal in social media, and it just ain't adding up. Yeah. That's what I think. Because look at how we were introduced to the cast of Love and Marriage Huntsville. The only ones that really were rich were Melody and Martell Holt. The Scotts were not rich. But somehow because of editing, they were bundled over in there as multimillionaires with the Holts. Because the Holts, we watched them in their confessional telling us how they became self-made millionaires. And then when we go through the season and we see how everyone else is living, we're like, oh, come on. The Holts are the only millionaires on this show. So what should have been sold to the audience is that the Holts were creating this comeback group to help their friends come up too. And then we're introduced to Destiny and her ex-husband, which her ex-husband is a restaurateur. We know that. Destiny was working, but all of a sudden here she comes opening up this beauty salon and claiming in an interview with the news station how she always dreamed of having her own beauty salon as a little girl. It's just odd to me that in that same interview, Destiny's father said that he always thought she would grow up to be a music artist and that the beauty salon idea was a surprise to him. So where did they come from? I'm thinking it came from production, but that's just me. Maybe that's why Madonna is a candle and body fragrance now. So when I hear Carlos make this statement about social media and the star that's playing up social media ruining the reality TV shows, it's all bullcrap. What Carlos is saying to me, what I'm getting out of that statement is that producers are upset because we live in a new day and age where social media gives us access to these people and they are not able to run their bullcrap over on us the way they used to do back in the day. Because look at Real Housewives of Atlanta when it first came on. Like, we were supposed to be introduced to these housewives that live these rich and lavish lives. But girl, you could look at their weave, their makeup, and their teeth and know that these people were not rich like that. And then let's fast forward to today, and a lot of those women are still struggling to stay afloat. Come on now. Now, in the second half of Carlos's statement, he said, I also think some audience members take it way too far in the online bullying of other cast members. Now, Carlos, in your own words, let's have a real conversation. Because didn't we just hear Carlos say he thinks that what's ruining reality TV is the reality star who plays up for a social media audience? And in the second half of this statement, Carlos is saying the audience bullies other cast members online. So you're still trying to carry on this narrative that you ran in season 8 about the millimeters bullying cast members online. It's not going to work. It didn't work on the show. It's not going to work in social media. That narrative is going to be shut down now. So what I'm seeing is Carlos is going around doing these interviews because Carlos is still trying to run his narrative, still trying to run his message. It didn't work on the show. It's not going to work in social media. So what's really ruining reality TV today is production that does not pay attention to the climate of its audience and actually tells its audience that no one can tell me what to do about my show yet. We're the ones giving the show the view. We're telling you what we want to see. We're giving you the heads up. It's just like over here with my subscribers. I get in my comments and see what my subscribers are saying, what they like, what they enjoy, and I give them more of that. It's called marketing research, and it's simple. Like, dude, just listen to your audience, and guess what? You will make more and more and more millions. Leverage your audience. Leverage the Love and Marriage Huntsville sector, because this is the strongest audience of any show on television today. It's unique. Like, leverage that instead of using your audience as a storyline to bash the star of your show. It's common sense. Let's take, for example, the other shows that are under Kingdom Reign. Those shows could have the same audience from the Love and Marriage Huntsville sector and build upon that with the other audiences that are attracted to those shows. Because I've noticed how the clips for Love and Marriage Detroit are being posted to the Love and Marriage Huntsville page on Instagram. And we ain't watching that. We're not interested. Why? Because we've been offended by the very show that we're supporting. And one more other thing, don't come to social media trying to tell the audience what to do. If you're going to tell the audience, we can't tell you what to do as the producer. Stay out of our lane. We've got this. And if the cast members can't handle the backlash and stuff that they get as public figures, then maybe they should go back to their private lives in Huntsville. And what the heck is going on with Destiny's head in this photo? Like, who photoshopped this? We know that lady is taller than that. We can see Destiny's neck, but we don't see it in this photo. And why in the world are Trish and Ken? Why is Trish and Ken standing up here like, who are they even? Their storyline has been busted up in social media. Their storyline was busted up on Your Messy Mondays when Marquez was on there. Like, this is the crap we're talking about. But y'all, I'm working hard over here to help us get caught up before November 2nd so we can make sure we have a clear understanding of these storylines and the things that have happened so far on Love and Marriage Huntsville. The playlist that I'm working on right now is Martell. I'm adding him to the fold over here on Pop Wisdom. And I'm also adding content for some new shows over here on Pop Wisdom. So we'll be talking about several shows, not only Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now go ahead and drop your commentary in the comments below because I'm ready to see what you have to say.